Welcome back to the channel World Coins Master everyone, and thank you for joining us today as we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare United States coins and uncover the incredible story behind the 1971 1-cent Lincoln penny, a coin that many might see as just a simple copper piece of change but in reality has examples known to be worth staggering amounts of money, in this case as much as $580 million. It's hard to imagine that a coin worth just a single cent, something we normally toss into a jar, lose in couch cushions, or hand out without a second thought, could potentially be worth more than entire estates, luxury yachts, or even the value of some of the world's most prestigious art pieces. Yet the world of coin collecting, minting errors, and rare variations makes this all possible, and the 1971 Lincoln cent is one of the most compelling cases of a tiny coin that carries unimaginable value. When we think about the Lincoln penny, we often think of it as the most common coin in circulation in America. It was first introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and ever since then it has remained a symbol of American history and pride. Over the decades, billions upon billions of these coins have been struck, with minor changes along the way to the design, the materials used, and of course the placement of mint marks. Because so many exist, most of us assume they hold little to no value beyond their face value. But the truth is that sometimes, just sometimes, a rare error or an unusual minting anomaly creates a version of this coin that collectors and historians go crazy for, and it's these pieces that end up being worth more than anyone could ever imagine. The 1971 Lincoln cent falls into this fascinating category because while the vast majority of them are common, mass-produced coins, there are certain versions and certain errors that make specific examples not just rare, but almost priceless. When we say priceless, we're talking about sums of money so high that they rival corporate acquisitions or national treasures. The idea of a 1971 penny being worth $580 million might sound unbelievable, but to collectors who understand rarity, provenance, and historical importance, the value can reach into such astronomical numbers. The journey of understanding why a single penny from 1971 could be worth this amount begins with the context of the coin's minting. In 1971, Lincoln cents were struck at multiple mints, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint produced millions upon millions of coins, but even with such large numbers, the slightest mistake could create a variety that was unique. Mint marks like the D for Denver or the S for San Francisco, when doubled, misplaced, or faintly struck, could create coins that immediately stand out to collectors. Similarly, if a die was misaligned, if the strike pressure was uneven, or if an error occurred during the hubbing process, the resulting coin would be unlike any other, and rarity in the world of coins translates directly to value. One of the most famous errors associated with the 1971 penny involves double dies. A double die occurs when the design on the coin shows duplication because of a mistake in the process of impressing the design onto the die itself. This means that every coin struck from that flawed die will show doubling in certain areas, such as the date, the motto "In God We Trust," or Lincoln's profile. For 1971, double die obverse errors are well documented and incredibly sought after. Collectors spend years hunting for them, and when examples are found in pristine condition, they can sell for thousands or even millions. The extreme rarity and collector demand behind these coins drives their value higher and higher, and in the case of the most pristine, historically significant, or uniquely flawed examples, that value can soar into hundreds of millions. Beyond double dies, other varieties also push the value of the 1971 penny into legendary status. Repunched mint marks, or RPMs, are another type of error. These occur when the mint mark, which was hand-punched into the die at the time, was struck more than once but not in the exact same location. This creates a shadow-like appearance of the mint mark, almost like it's doubled or slightly offset. Collectors identify these with great interest, and while some varieties are minor, others are bold enough to attract enormous attention. A 1971 penny with a dramatic repunched mint mark could become a centerpiece of a collection and command record-breaking prices. Misaligned dies are yet another factor. Imagine a coin where Lincoln's bust is slightly off-center, or where the rim appears thicker on one side and thinner on the other. These kinds of errors create coins that are visually striking because they differ so obviously from the intended design. To the untrained eye, such a coin might look defective or damaged, but to a collector it is a rare treasure that showcases a unique chapter of minting history. There are also broad strike errors, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even coins struck on the wrong planchets altogether. For instance, if a 1971 Lincoln cent was mistakenly struck on a dime planchet or on foreign coin stock, that coin would be dramatically different from the rest. These oddities are among the most valuable because they combine rarity with mystery, leaving collectors wondering how such a mistake could have happened inside the tightly controlled environment of the US Mint. Condition is another critical factor. While errors alone can make a coin valuable, the condition of the coin amplifies that value enormously. Coins graded as mint state, especially those that are MS-65 or higher, are far more valuable than their circulated counterparts. A 1971 penny with a double die error in pristine condition, untouched by circulation, could be the kind of coin that sets world records when auctioned. Now, imagine that this coin is not only flawless in condition but also comes from a die with one of the most dramatic and noticeable errors ever seen. That coin would become legendary, and in the competitive world of high-stakes collecting, the bidding wars for such an item could drive its value into the hundreds of millions. The provenance of a coin also adds to its value. Provenance refers to the history of ownership, and in the world of rare coins, this can mean everything. A 1971 penny with a famous error that was once part of a world-class collection, or that has been written about in numismatic journals, will be far more valuable than one discovered at random. Collectors are drawn to history, and the story behind the coin becomes just as important as the coin itself. To put this into perspective, we can look at other coins that have achieved astronomical values. The 1794 flowing hair dollar, considered by many to be the first silver dollar struck by the US Mint, sold for over $10 million. The 1933 double eagle, a gold coin with a fascinating legal and historical backstory, sold for nearly $20 million. These examples prove that when rarity, history, condition, and collector demand intersect, the sky is the limit for value. So, when we apply this principle to the 1971 penny and consider its errors, varieties, and potential condition, it becomes easier to understand how its value could be pushed into the unimaginable range of $580 million. Collectors aren't just buying a coin when they pay these sums. They are buying a piece of history, a story, a symbol of American culture, and an artifact that connects the past with the present. The 1971 Lincoln cent embodies this perfectly, as it represents both the everyday coinage used by millions of Americans and the extraordinary rarity that emerges from the minting process. When evaluating why a specific 1971 penny could be worth so much, we also have to consider the psychology of collectors and investors. Rarity creates desire, and desire creates competition. Wealthy collectors, museums, and investors all compete for the chance to own something unique, and when only one or two known examples exist, the competition becomes fierce. The price then escalates not because the coin has a material value anywhere near $580 million, but because the symbolic and historical value becomes priceless. Think about it this way: a famous painting by an artist like Leonardo da Vinci or Vincent van Gogh is just canvas and paint at its most basic level. Yet the cultural and historical significance makes these paintings worth hundreds of millions of dollars. The same applies to rare coins like the 1971 Lincoln cent with extraordinary errors. It may just be copper, but it's copper that carries a story, rarity, and prestige that collectors will pay unimaginable sums for. Another important aspect to note is that not every 1971 penny is valuable. In fact, the overwhelming majority are still worth only 1 cent. What makes the difference is the error, the condition, and the uniqueness of the coin. This is why knowledge is so important in coin collecting. A person might unknowingly have a 1971 penny in their possession that is worth more than an entire fortune. It could be sitting in a jar, in a collection passed down through family, or even hidden in circulation, waiting to be discovered. Imagine the excitement of finding such a coin. For most people, it would be life-changing. A coin worth $580 million would not just change the life of its finder, but could even enter history books as one of the most valuable coins ever discovered. Stories like this fuel the passion of coin collectors around the world, who dream of making such a discovery. As we reflect on the incredible story of the 1971 Lincoln cent, it's clear that this tiny coin holds immense power. It reminds us that history, chance. Today we are going to explore the remarkable story of the 2000 AD Lincoln 1-cent coin, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and numismatists around the world because of its extraordinary value. While it was minted with a face value of just a single cent, certain rare examples of this coin have been linked with values as high as $130 million due to errors, mistakes, and anomalies that make them some of the most desired pieces in the coin collecting community. This might sound unbelievable at first, but as we walk through the details, you will see how a tiny copper-coated zinc coin can be transformed into a treasure worth more than the most luxurious mansion or even private island. The Lincoln cent, which has been in circulation since 1909, is one of the most iconic coins in American history. By the year 2000, the Denver Mint had already produced billions of pennies, and most of them were ordinary, everyday coins used in transactions across the country. However, within those billions, a handful emerged with mistakes and variations that were never intended to leave the mint. These rare anomalies have turned them into prized collectibles. The 2000 AD Lincoln cent stands out because of the sheer number of different types of errors associated with it, ranging from die cracks, double strikes, misaligned dies, planchette errors, and even mint mark irregularities that have given rise to endless speculation. When talking about the 2000 AD penny, it is important to understand the role of the Denver Mint. The D mint mark found just below the year 2000 on the obverse side of the coin indicates it was struck in Denver, Colorado. The Denver Mint is known for its massive production output, striking billions of coins each year. With such large-scale production, the chances of minting mistakes naturally increase, and when errors occur, they often slip through unnoticed. For collectors, those unnoticed minting mistakes are like striking gold. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 2000 AD penny is the possibility of double die errors. A double die happens during the creation of the die itself, where the hub impresses an image more than once onto the die in slightly different positions. As a result, when coins are struck with that die, the features appear doubled. On Lincoln cents, doubling can occur on the date, the lettering such as Liberty, or the famous motto, "In God We Trust." These double details can be subtle or extremely pronounced, and the more visible and dramatic they are, the more valuable the coin becomes. Collectors prize double dies because they represent a striking flaw at the very heart of the coin's creation. Another key factor contributing to the extraordinary value of the 2000 AD Lincoln cent lies in mint mark anomalies. The D mint mark itself can sometimes appear in unusual forms due to repunching or misplacement. Before the advent of machine-engraved mint marks were hand-punched, leading to many variations. Even in 2000, errors could still occur, creating misplaced mint marks, filled mint marks where the D appears faint or missing, or mint marks with odd shapes. These variations have caused certain 2000 AD pennies to become highly collectible because they are one of a kind. Planchette errors are another category that makes some 2000 AD pennies incredibly valuable. A planchette is the blank metal disc prepared to be struck into a coin. Sometimes planchets are improperly prepared, resulting in coins that are off metal, clipped, or struck on foreign planchets. For instance, a penny might accidentally be struck on a dime planchette, leading to a coin with unusual weight and size. Such an error transforms a common coin into a treasure worth tens of thousands, if not millions, depending on rarity. In the case of the 2000 AD, reports of coins struck on experimental or transitional planchets have fueled speculation and excitement. Die cracks and die breaks are another type of error collectors seek out. Over time, the dies that strike coins develop cracks from the immense pressure. When these cracks transfer to the coins, they create raised lines or irregular shapes on the coin's surface. A dramatic die break can lead to what is known as a cud, where part of the design is missing and replaced with a blob of metal. On the 2000 AD Lincoln cent, such errors are fascinating because they show the wear and tear of the minting process and create coins that are instantly recognizable as unique. Misaligned dies are another phenomenon. When the two dies that strike the coin are not properly aligned, the resulting image can appear off-center or tilted. Some 2000 AD pennies show off-center strikes where part of the design is missing, while others show a dramatically shifted image. The more extreme the misalignment, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. Coins struck off-center by more than 50% yet still showing the date are particularly prized. One of the most intriguing possibilities with the 2000 AD penny involves transitional errors. These occur when a mint mistakenly uses the wrong planchette or die from a previous year or design. Although rare, there have been instances across U.S. coinage history where older designs accidentally appeared on newer coins. If such a transitional error existed for the 2000 AD penny, it could explain why collectors speculate that certain examples have skyrocketed to astronomical values. The value of the 2000 AD Lincoln cent does not simply come from a single type of error but from the combination of these potential mistakes and the rarity of each one. A double die with a dramatic visible effect might fetch thousands. A coin struck on the wrong planchet could be worth tens of thousands. A coin combining multiple errors, say, a double die, off-center strike, and mint mark anomaly, could climb into millions. For a small handful of unique specimens, collectors have valued them at figures as high as $130 million, recognizing them as irreplaceable treasures. Beyond the technical details, the 2000 AD penny carries historical significance. The year 2000 was a symbolic turning point, marking the beginning of a new millennium. Collectors and the public alike were fascinated by coins dated 2000, making them instant keepsakes. Combine this cultural moment with rare mint errors, and the appeal of the 2000 AD penny becomes even more powerful. Stories have circulated of lucky individuals who stumbled across rare 2000 AD pennies in pocket change or inherited collections. These stories fuel the excitement, showing that even today, anyone could potentially hold an overlooked fortune in their hands. Unlike rare artwork or historical documents locked away in museums, coins often pass quietly from one person to another in everyday transactions, which means treasures can hide in plain sight. For numismatists, the hunt for a rare 2000 AD penny is not just about financial gain but about history, rarity, and the thrill of discovery. Each coin tells a story of the minting process, the imperfections of machinery, and the human element of oversight. To hold a coin with an error is to hold a physical record of something that was never supposed to happen, something unique that no other coin can replicate. The Lincoln Penny series has seen many famous rarities over the decades, such as the 1909 SVDB, the 1914 D, and the 1955 double die. The 2000 D joins this list as a modern marvel, showing that even in recent years, mistakes can create legends. Unlike older coins that might be worn from decades of circulation, the 2000 D examples often retain sharp detail, making the errors even clearer to see and more appealing to collectors. The marketplace for such coins has exploded in recent years, with online auctions, coin shows, and private collectors all seeking out rare varieties. When a unique 2000 D era penny comes to light, bidding wars can ensue, driving the price to unimaginable levels. For coins that combine rarity, historical context, and dramatic errors, the sky is truly the limit in terms of value. What makes the figure of $130 million even more astounding is the comparison to everyday items. Imagine trading a penny you found in your pocket for a megayacht, a skyscraper, or an entire island. That is the kind of transformation these rare 2000 D pennies represent. They turn ordinary change into extraordinary wealth. Of course, not every 2000 AD penny is worth a fortune. The vast majority remain ordinary, circulating with a value of 1 cent. The key is in the details. Collectors must examine coins closely, often with magnification, to spot the errors. Doubling on the letters, die cracks across Lincoln's portrait, unusual shapes in the mint mark, or off-center designs are all indicators that a penny could be special. Careful inspection, patience, and knowledge are essential for uncovering these hidden treasures. The passion for error coins has created a thriving community of collectors who share discoveries, compare notes, and hunt together for the next big find. Online forums, social media groups, and coin clubs buzz with excitement whenever a new 2000 AD era surfaces. Each discovery adds to the collective understanding of how these coins were produced and why they are so rare. In addition to collectors, professional grading companies play a vital role in authenticating and certifying these coins. A 2000 D penny with a dramatic error must often be sent to a grading service for verification. Once graded, the coin's authenticity and error are confirmed, and its value skyrockets. Collectors and investors alike seek the security of a certified coin before spending millions. The story of the 2000 AD penny also highlights the enduring appeal of the Lincoln cent itself. For more than a century, the penny,